Hey guys, Romie here. So yeah, it's about that time again. Wayward Pines is officially over for the season. This is the last recap for the season of Wayward Pines. I do other recaps. So if you're a first-time viewer, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're a new viewer, please like and comment. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. And let's get right into it. Now, this is the 10th episode, Bedtime Story. And it starts off with Jason is still alive for now. And I'm pissed. I'm like, Carrie, you had all of that space and opportunity to kill him, and he was still breathing. So they get him to the hospital, and of course Carrie's really distraught because she just found out that because he just tried to kill her. And it's like, why did he try to kill me? She doesn't have answers yet. Theo, he knows more than she even realizes, but he's just like, of course he's going to do everything he can to make sure that Jason lives. Now, we see Margaret, the female Abby. Margaret is basically telling all the troops, go out, fan out, we're going to go and strike them. We're going to reclaim our land, and we're going to get justice for our people when we were initially attacked all those years ago. And you have this huge, it looks like he was probably technically like a black Abby, a black human in his past life, so to speak. And he's going and he's wrangling the troops. It's time to go to war. It's time to go to war. Now, they're trying to do the evacuation process. They're slowly wrangling up, all of the families and the important next of kin. So like the mom, for example. Maybe not necessarily the dad. Unless the dad is super essential, they're not going to go and take the dad along too. Because remember, they only have half the amount of his half of the amount of stasis pods that they need. So while Theo's doing this surgery on Jason, where I'm thinking, wait a minute, they really trust Theo to go and do this surgery on Jason? Long story short, he dies. He dies, and we're all have a collective. But we also are thinking, no, wait a minute now. Now, did Theo, was there foul play? Was there foul play? Theo goes out and he talks to the congregation. He talks to the community of Wayward Pines and lets them know that Jason is dead, that even though that this is bad in a general sense, we will survive, we will triumph, we will thrive, we will work together, we will not be under dictatorship anymore. That's not what it should have been. We were brought here we were brought here against our will, but now we have the opportunity to survive and thrive and decide for ourselves if that's what we personally want. So go home, collect your things, get ready, because it's not over. Now, Oscar, see how I know these names? Oscar is the assistant, like his medical assistant, Theo's medical assistant. And Oscar realizes you never drained the fluid out of his whatever. And so he's like, that's what you taught me. That's the first thing that you do. So did you intentionally kill Jason? Like, what's really good? We know he did, but because he told Carrie to do it. But he said if he had the opportunity, he would do it himself. He was not playing around. Now, Arlene is trying to hit on him. It's so weird. Arlene is trying to hit on him. She's just like, I've done this, I've done that as far as my previous jobs, but this one is my favorite. And, I feel like I really made a difference. I'm like, Arlene, come on now. Come on now. And, again, that's where Theo is being talked to by Oscar. And it's just like, okay, so what's your plan now, since you're pretty much the leader? Now, guess who comes in? CJ comes in, and CJ's like, yeah, that was all well and good. Jason's dead, good kid. No, not good kid. But he was smart enough to know that we only have half of the stasis pods. What are we going to do? Since you're technically officially in charge, what's the course of action? Theo's pissed because CJ's still suggesting Jason's original plan. Jason's original plan is to go and choose of course, the first generation, the kids, the young kids, the parents that will go and monitor the kids, and any of the adults that will be seen as necessary. Everyone else, you know, the disabled, the sickly, people who can't get pregnant, who don't want to have sex to get pregnant, you know, everyone in between, they can get left behind. And Theo is pissed. Theo is really pissed, but he realizes, crap, this is the cards that we've been dealt, and there's nothing else that I could do at this point. So I guess I'm just going to have to go and roll with it, even though that's not what I want to do. CJ's just like, dude, you realize that this is the only course of action that we can take where we could actually save some people, unless there's 300 people that are never awoken. We can wake them up, we can put them in Wayward Pines, and we could put 300 more people in pods that were already woken. And he was just like, this is evil. And it's like, you realize you're a doctor, so you save lives. You save, and you came here and you've been trying to save a soul. And you save a life, you potentially save all of mankind. You don't realize how much you've impacted the world. And he's right. And so it's just like, so I'm going to leave these here, but things were going to proceed anyway, meaning that they already started the process of taking the essential people out of Wayward Pines and putting them into stasis pods. Carrie, Jason, Theo pretty much lets Carrie know that, you know, it's interesting because, oh yeah, Oscar informed him about the rare blood type that only 4 people in Wayward Pines had. I believe, what was it, O negative or something like that? And so he was just like, you know, it's interesting because you and Jason have the same rare blood type. Not only do you have the same rare blood type, you realize that Jason, when he was a baby, he was taken and put into a stasis pod just like a couple of days after he was born or something of that nature. And it was the same amount of time that you actually were taken from Idaho, and, well, they're still in Idaho, taken from the hospital and put in a pod yourself. And, you know, Pilfer, you know that Pilcher, he never told you the whole truth. He only gave you bits and pieces. So you really don't know what's going on, do you? You really don't know what's going on, do you? You really don't know what's going on, do you? It's like, I'll leave you with that. He goes and walks out. That was basically her. Of course, she threw up. And then she threw up again. And then she threw up again. And I'm like, okay, but I wanted to see the agonizing. That's what I was hoping for, as well as, you know, but, you know, I guess they couldn't do too much. So, Theo is getting ready. He takes his gun. He's leaving. He's starting to make plans because he's like, screw it. We're just going to have to go with the plan that was initially set in motion. This isn't what I want. He sees the picture of Pilcher, and he takes it and smashes it. I'm like, okay, there we go. That's the Theo. That's what that we've been waiting for. That's the Theo that we've been waiting for. CJ is in the elevator with Marcus, Carrie, and Theo. And it's just like, yeah, so how's everyone feeling? Carrie, you okay? She's like, hell no. No. I'm like, good. Because if he said yes, I would have been disgusted. I would have been disgusted. Why am I doing that? Disgusted. And this is where we see, again, the non-essential people are being left behind. The father, you know, he's kind of out of shape. Older father of this young family. They take his wife and they take his kids, but they say they're going to get him in the next round. They're not taking all of the kids from the first generation. They're only taking the kids that are of use. Meaning that Lucy, for example, is being taken because she can give birth, she can be a mother, she can be a parent. Whereas her brother Frank, because he doesn't like women, he's not going to procreate. As a result of him not procreating, he has no use. So they're leaving him behind. I know. Pretty messed up. And also, it looked like they were also leaving, I'm assuming because those kids were like shorter. I don't know if maybe they had some mental disability. I don't know if they were also already but but they did look like they were leaving the minorities, and I did feel a certain way about that. I was just like, really, Sway? Really? Now, what do you call it? Now they're going after Rebecca. They want Rebecca, but they don't want Xander. They don't want Xander because Xander is militant. It's not that he doesn't have a use. It's just that Xander is militant, and he would probably try a fight against the new establishment that was set in place. So that's why they're not willing to take him. Rebecca's over it, but Xander just gives her this rebel-rousing speech of, you know, I'm with you always. So just go. Go for our baby, and I'll be there. I'll be there when you go to sleep. I'll be there when you wake up. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You can't guarantee that, but that's cute. Now, Theo is talking to CJ again, and Theo is just so over it because he's saying to himself, damn, is it even really worth doing all this? Because we're no better than Pilcher. We're no better than the Abbeys. What we're doing is leaving the people to die, all of that. CJ's saying, look at the greater good. We are saving lives today so that mankind can exist thousands and thousands of years later. That's what we're doing. That's what's going to happen. Get used to it because it's already set in motion. People like Arlene, she was also left behind. She wasn't taken in the first draft. Marcus comes and sees that the Abbeys are coming in droves and they are ready. They're ready. Anarchy has officially begun in Wayward Pines because the, we'll call them the B team, yeah, everyone else who got left behind, they realized that they actually got left behind. There's not a section, there's not another shuttle, there's not another bus, there's not another caravan. They are the ones that were not necessary to the growth and development of Wayward Pines. And so they're bugging out. They're beating each other up in the streets, they're looting the stores, they're setting everything ablaze, and it's really sad to see, because I'm thinking to myself, damn, this is so realistic. This is so realistic. And also, this has happened on the show multiple times. This has happened each time people found out the truth about Wayward Pines, and also about them trying to fight back to get out of Wayward Pines. Now, Theo has an interesting idea. He's doing a tape recording, and he's decided that he's going to go and sacrifice himself. He's going to go and be that big, bold symbol that Wayward Pines really needs and hasn't had since Ethan died. He's going to go and shoot himself up with the bubonic plague and 2 other deadly diseases. He'll go shoot himself up with those. He'll walk out and let the Abbeys devour him. And that way he can take out at least half, if not 75% of the Abbey population just right there. And by the time that the, of course, the people of Wayward Pines wake up, maybe the Abbey threat will be gone forever. So it's just like, oh, that's still messed up on both sides, on both accords, but at least you're doing something, I guess. Marcus comes in and is just like, yeah, so we have a problem. We have to go, like, now. Of course, they get Rebecca, and Rebecca, she meets up with Lucy, and it's just like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now, Theo sees Rebecca, and he doesn't see Xander, so he knows what time it is. Now, Xander is having a drink at his old place of business. Frank, because remember, when Frank, oh yeah, I didn't mention it, when Frank was trying to go to get to his sister, because originally he was locked in the school, a guard beat him up. I was just like, you didn't have to pistol whip poor Frank like that. Come on now. Come on now. He's just, what, like 14 or something? Oh, he goes, he meets up with Xander, and they're just talking, and they realize that their lives are pretty much over, and they just accepted it. It is what it is, type of thing. And he even gets to drink for the first time. All of a sudden, you see this souped up Jeep, and it is flooring it. And of course, what's his name? Theo's in there. It's just like, come on, let's go. And we're just like, Theo, because I knew we couldn't lead the stragglers. I knew we couldn't lead these stragglers. And Xander's just like, oh, you care. It's just like, shut up. This isn't for you. And now there's opposition in front of them. Someone made what is it called? A fireball. You know, he put some alcohol on a rag. he put in a bottle, a Molotov volleyball or something like that. And then he was ready to throw it. Xander, mind you, has a rifle. Well, no, he looks like he has a sniping gun. He's just like, hold on, I got this. Boom! And shoots the bottle so that the guy catches on fire. And so they charge right for the guy in the truck. And so the guy jumps out of the, he gets out of the way. They make it back to safety. They get inside. And that's where we see the second coming of, oh my gosh, Arlene. Arlene was over it. Arlene was just like, oh, I see how it is. So I really appreciated you, but you decided that, I guess good luck to you when you wake up, because I won't be here. That's what she was basically trying to give us. And he was just like, Arlene, this guy's dead, so I guess there's an extra pod for you. And so she said, oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just like, okay, yeah, just get the hell off me. And so they realize it's time to go and put everyone in the pods. And of course, Rebecca is thankful that Ethan brought Xander back to her and Lucy has her brother back. And the interesting thing, though, is that Carrie looks out of it. Carrie looks like she does not want to go and deal with this BS ever again. So Carrie goes and tells CJ that, you know what, she realizes she has a purpose. It's not here. So she goes and leaves. So now there's another pod, an extra pod. Rebecca goes and thanks Theo. And it's like, of course, even though we're not together, I really appreciate you doing this. Just like, okay, yeah, go and be with your man. Go be with your husband, the one that you really love. I understand that our relationship's dissolved. It is what it is type of thing. And so Theo goes back to his lab. He goes back to his lab to try and find the viruses. But Carrie was there. She beat him to the punch, and she already injected herself with the viruses. Carrie realizes she has a purpose. She realizes, you know what? Her son was a terror, and she really didn't do much of anything with her life. So at least she can finally do something. Be of use. Inspire. Well, actually not inspire, because she was like, no one's going to know, no one's going to care. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we'll see about that. And so Carrie goes and takes Theo's place with the whole essentially killing off the Abby race, or at least attempting to kill off the Abby race. And he's just like, okay, take this morphine, take it right before you leave the gate, like 2 minutes before you leave the gate, because they're going to be gnawing on you and everything, and it's going to be like hell. It's going to be like hell. And Theo goes and gives a rebel-rousing speech to try and convince everyone, look, this is what it is. We will rebuild. We will come back stronger and more powerful than ever. And everyone prepares to get into the pods. Now, they're diverting all of the power from Wayward Pines, I believe, except for the fence itself. And it's just like, all right, this is fun while it lasted. And it showed, like, all of the places where terrible stuff happened, like the laboratory and the hospital, and then, where planning occurred. And the thing is, one of the last scenes was actually, remember the father whose family was taken but he was left behind? Yeah, so he painted the house over, and he went on a ladder, he created a noose, and he hung himself. He hung himself because he was just like, if I can't be with my family, and if these Abbies are going to go and kill me anyway, I'd rather kill. I'm like, damn, is that bad? It really is that bad, though. Because it's over. But the messed up thing is the soil. Remember, they were saying how why can't they have anything grow there? The soil, it can't be that polluted. What's going on? There was life sprouting out of the soil. It was a plant. It was either a plant or a vegetable, something was sprouting out there. I was just like, oh crap. They rushed it. They rushed it. They jumped the gun. If Jason wasn't so impulsive. Idiot. Now, CJ, of course, is tasked with actually seeing that everyone... Oh yeah, and Margaret is looking over her army. I'm thinking, Margaret, you have no idea what's about to happen. Carrie is outside the gate ready to go and sacrifice herself. We don't actually see her get attacked. But one of the second to last things is that, guess what? No, really, guess what? It's weird because CJ, he sees his wife again. The wife that he knows, of course, died, what was it? More than centuries ago. Like millennia ago? Like 2 millennia ago? And of course, it's his evil thoughts manifested, and it's saying, you know, you can terminate all the pods. You can terminate the pods, and you can kill everyone. Terminate the pods. Just terminate the pods. And so it looked like for a moment he was going to do it, but it's just like, nope, I have a choice. So he goes and he puts everyone in the cryogenic stasis, like planned. And the last scene was of this, I don't know what time frame it was. All I know is that it was a baby Abby, and it looked very, very human-like. Again, I don't know if this was in the past, the present, or the future. I don't know if Adam had sex with an Abby. I don't know how this all works. Like, where are the reproductive organs? I'm really lost here. Yeah, so please like, comment, subscribe. And so, by the way, even though Wayward Pines is done for the season, like I said, I do a myriad of reviews. So please stay subscribed, because aside from when Wayward Pines comes back, I'm sure that there's something else that I talk about that you'll probably be interested in. So, thank you.